Welcome to this explainer. For the longest time, humanity pretty much viewed the ocean as this quiet, simple, silent place. But today, we're going to dive deep into the data and uncover just how loud, complex, and honestly brilliant marine communication truly is. It's an entire world of hidden languages right beneath the waves.
To unpack the sheer diversity of all this ocean language, we've broken this explainer down into 5 key areas: acoustic identities and ocean culture, visual language of the deep, finding family in the chaos, interspecies deals and teamwork, and finally, bizarre beats and mechanical sounds.
So let's start things off with a slightly provocative question. Are we humans really the only creatures on Earth that use specific names and distinct cultural dialects? I want you to keep that question in the back of your mind as we go through this evidence, because what researchers have been finding recently fundamentally challenges pretty much everything we thought we knew about language.
All right, Section 1, Acoustic Identities and Ocean Culture. We all know bottlenose dolphins are incredibly intelligent, right? Well, they actually use unique signature whistles exactly the way we use names. Mothers will actively teach their calves how to create their own specific signature whistle during their first year of life. And here's the wild part. They can remember another dolphin's name even after 20 years of separation. I mean, think about that. That's a level of long-term social memory and friendship that absolutely rivals our own.
Now, orcas take this whole concept of acoustic identity to the absolute extreme. If you compare resident and transient orcapods, you'll find they have culturally learned dialects with zero overlap. That means they literally cannot understand each other. Since these calls are passed down culturally from mothers to calves and not genetically, orcas that share the exact same waters are essentially speaking completely different, impenetrable languages.
And this immense diversity just keeps going across other whale species too. You've got the singers, like humpback whales, where males sing these incredibly complex, constantly evolving musical songs that can travel 10,000 kilometers across the ocean basin. Then you have the clickers, the sperm whales. They use rhythmic click codas that basically act as cultural ID cards for their specific clans. And finally, the babblers. Beluga whales, often called the canaries of the sea, have this massive vocal repertoire. They even have a malleable melon on their forehead, giving them insane vocal flexibility, complete with a babbling phase just like human babies.
Moving right along to Section 2, Visual Language of the Deep.
So octopuses don't actually make sounds. Instead, they literally speak using their skin. They use millions of specialized cells called chromatophores to flash aggression, calm, or really complex territorial messages in less than a heartbeat. They combine these instant color changes with specific arm postures to broadcast entirely silent messages to everyone around them. It's purely visual communication. And cuttlefish? They take this visual language to the next level with a split display. We're talking extreme multitasking here. A male cuttlefish can flash mesmerizing courting colors to a female on one side of his body, while simultaneously projecting aggressive warning patterns to a rival male on the other side. It is a high-stakes, two-sided conversation happening at the exact same time, entirely through dynamic skin patterns.
Then you have Caribbean reef squids. These guys are highly social, and they culturally transmit rapid, color-flashing patterns to organize really complex group hunting maneuvers. Males will negotiate dominance by quickly cycling through zebra stripes and bright white flashes. And fascinatingly, they use W-shaped pupils to read polarized light signals. This creates a completely hidden visual communication channel that most predators can't even see. Talk about an evolutionary advantage.
All right, Section 3, Finding Family in the Chaos.
Picture this. You're standing on a crowded beach filled with thousands of California sea lions all barking continuously at 90 decibels. It sounds like pure, deafening chaos. Yet somehow, a mother returning from the ocean can still recognize her specific pup's unique call after months of being apart. Within just hours of birth, they memorize each other's voices, allowing a mom to precisely navigate that acoustic battlefield to find her exact pup.
Harbor seals and those famously gentle manatees rely completely on this kind of rapid acoustic imprinting too. Harbor seals use it to reunite in massive colonies of over 1,000 animals. Meanwhile, manatee calves will literally chirp continuously to their mothers during their entire first year. It builds this vital, continuous acoustic tether so they're never separated in murky, low-visibility coastal waters. For these animals, communication isn't just about socializing. It's quite literally a lifeline.
Okay, on to Section 4. Interspecies deals and teamwork.
This next one is basically an underwater heist. It's the first documented case of referential signaling between fish. A grouper and a moray eel actually communicate to hunt cooperatively. The grouper shakes its head to say, "Hey, let's hunt," and then literally points its body at a crevice. The eel completely understands the signal, slithers into the tight space, and flushes the prey right out. This interspecies teamwork boosts their hunting success by an incredible 5 times.
Similarly, look at the tiny cleaner wrasse. This little fish negotiates a complex protocol of trust with massive client fish, who could easily eat it, by the way. It communicates through a specific bobbing dance to offer its cleaning services. The massive predator then assumes a vulnerable posture to accept. The wrasse even uses specific tactile touches to keep aggressive clients calm. And amazingly, studies show this communication exchange measurably reduces stress hormones in the client fish. It's just a highly evolved interspecies peace treaty.
And that brings us to our final section, Part 5, Bizarre Beats and Mechanical Sounds.
The acoustic extremes underwater are just staggering. They range from the 100 decibel mating boat whistle of the, let's be honest, pretty ugly oyster toadfish, all the way up to the 210 decibel weaponized snap of the tiny snapping shrimp. And towering over all of them is the sperm whale, generating 230 decibels. That is literally the loudest biological sound on Earth.
Fish generate sound in incredibly diverse ways, too. While the fiercely aggressive little dam shellfish pulses its swim bladder to chirp out highly specific threat levels to intruders, the parrotfish takes a totally different approach. It actually grinds its throat teeth together to audibly warn rivals away. And as a fun side note, that constant grinding of coral through those throat teeth is exactly what produces the beautiful white sand beaches we all love to walk on.
Now for what might be the ocean's most hilarious evolutionary hack. Atlantic herring maintain nighttime cohesion in massive schools by using what's called a fast repetitive tech, or FRT. Yes, you heard that right. They essentially fart out high-frequency bubbles at 22 kilohertz. Because this sound is above the hearing range of most predators, the herring can use fish flatulence to stay connected and coordinate movements while staying entirely hidden in the pitch black. You really can't make this stuff up.
1,500 newtons. That is the staggering power behind a mantis shrimp's punch. It packs enough force to literally shatter aquarium glass. But because actual physical fighting would be deadly for both parties involved, the mantis shrimp uses brilliant visual threat displays instead. Equipped with the most complex color vision in the entire animal kingdom, they evaluate these displays to establish dominance without ever having to throw a catastrophic punch. Basically, the deadlier the physical weapon, the more vital communication becomes.
And finally, let's look at the snapping shrimp. This tiny creature communicates with goby fish lookouts and stuns its prey by snapping its oversized claw so fast that it creates a cavitation bubble. When that bubble collapses, it briefly reaches temperatures of 4,700 degrees Celsius. For context, that is hotter than the surface of the sun. It's a perfect example that your physical size has absolutely nothing to do with how powerfully you can communicate in the ocean.
So, after exploring the profound complexities of all these different species, we're left with a pretty massive question. If marine animals use names, cultural dialects, and cross-species negotiations, does our human-centric definition of language need a major upgrade? The ocean is far from silent, my friends. It is teeming with conversation, culture, and intelligence. Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer. Keep wondering, keep learning, and I'll see you next time.